One of the arguments that I make in my book Eurowhiteness is that the EU functions as a kind of vehicle for imperial amnesia. And it seems to me that that's not just a sort of coincidence that, from the 1960s onwards, the EU integrates the memory of the Holocaust into its narrative, but forgets about the history of European colonialism. It seems to me there's something structural about that, which is that the collective memory of the Holocaust is a memory that brings European countries together, and it sort of focuses on what I call the sort of internal lessons of European history. In other words, the history of what Europeans did to each other. The thing about the memory of European colonialism is it's the external lessons of European history. It's what Europeans did to the rest of the world. It seems to me that if Europeans were to deepen their engagement with that history, in other words, to sort of remember European colonialism in a deeper kind of way, in a sense, it might act as a kind of centrifugal force. In other words, one that would pull Europeans further apart from each other. The reason I say that is because European colonialism was something that happened to a large extent in a kind of bilateral way, right? And so France had its colonies, Belgium had its colonies. There were some cases where countries were colonized by multiple European countries. If you think of, say, Cameroon, which was colonized by France, but also by Germany at different moments. So you could imagine a kind of collaborative project of remembering or of reparations between France and Germany, but to a large extent, this would be something that European countries would do on their own with their former colonies. And so the tendency then, I think, would be to sort of pull them apart in the sense of imagining themselves as being part of separate communities of fate with their own former colonies, rather than being part of a single community of fate with each other. And so in that sense, I think it's quite difficult to imagine how you have a sort of collective European project of remembering the colonial history of Europe.